Hello, everyone. My name is Yuki Tanaka, and I'm a 23 three-year-old student from Japan. I recently arrived in Seattle, Washington for my first ever visit to the United States. Coming from Tokyo, where our transportation system runs like clockwork, I was about to experience something completely different. It was a crisp autumn morning, and I needed to get from my hotel in downtown Seattle to the famous Pike Place Market. The concierge at my hotel had explained that I could take the local bus, which would be a quick 15-minute ride. Simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. As I stood at the bus stop on 4th Avenue, I couldn't help but notice how different everything felt from home. The street was wide and lined with tall buildings that seemed to touch the clouds. People of all backgrounds hurried past me, carrying coffee cups and speaking in various languages. The morning air was filled with the scent of coffee from nearby cafes, and a light drizzle, typical Seattle weather, created a misty atmosphere around the city. I clutched my phone tightly, double-checking Google Maps for the 100th time. Back home, I never needed to worry about which bus to take or how to pay for it. But here I was, feeling like a complete newcomer, watching as different buses passed by with numbers and destinations I didn't recognize. I was wearing my favorite blue raincoat, carrying a small backpack, and had prepared what I thought was the correct change for the bus fare. Little did I know that my simple morning journey would turn into an adventure that would teach me more about American culture and myself than I could have imagined. As I watched Bus 10 approach my stop, my heart started racing. This was it. The bus pulled up, and I noticed it was much larger than the ones in Tokyo. The doors opened with a loud hiss, and I stepped forward, coins in hand, ready to pay. "Good morning," I said cheerfully, extending my palm full of quarters toward the driver. The driver, a friendly-looking woman with curly gray hair, smiled but shook her head. "Sorry, honey, we don't take coins anymore. You need an Orca card, or you can pay with your phone using the Transit Go app." My heart sank. Orca card? Transit Go app? I had no idea what these things were. Other passengers were starting to line up behind me, and I could feel my cheeks burning red with embarrassment. I don't have," I stammered, trying to find the right words. A kind voice spoke up from behind me. "I got you covered," said a young woman wearing a green Seattle Seahawks jersey. She tapped her card twice, once for herself and once for me. "Thank you so much." I bowed slightly out of habit, then quickly remembered I wasn't in Japan anymore. The bus started moving, and I grabbed the nearest pole to steady myself. In Japan, buses move smoothly, and people rarely need to hold on tight, but this bus, it was like riding a mechanical bull. Every turn sent me swaying, and every stop felt like a mini adventure. I tried to make my way to an empty seat, but the constant movement made it challenging. Just as I thought I had my balance, the bus stopped suddenly at a red light. I lost my grip and stumbled forward, accidentally stepping on someone's foot. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry," I exclaimed, mortified. The man whose foot I stepped on just laughed. First time on our buses, huh? Don't worry about it. We've all been there. Pro tip: bend your knees slightly and hold on with both hands until you get used to it. As we continued the journey, I noticed how different this experience was from my expectations. People were talking to each other, actual conversations between strangers. In Japan, buses are usually silent, with everyone keeping to themselves. Here, an elderly lady was showing pictures of her grandchildren to another passenger, and two students were discussing their college assignments. The kind woman who had paid for my fare turned around in her seat. "Where are you heading to?" she asked. "Pike Place Market," I replied, still gripping the pole tightly. "Oh no," she said with a concerned look. "This bus is going the opposite direction. You needed bus 12, not bus 10. My stomach dropped. I was on the wrong bus, heading away from my destination, and I had no idea how to get back. "Don't panic," the woman in the Seahawks jersey said, noticing my distressed expression. "I'm Rachel, by the way. Let me help you get sorted out." Rachel pulled out her phone and showed me how to use Google Maps specifically for Seattle's bus system. She explained that unlike the straightforward systems I was used to in Japan, American public transportation often required a bit more planning and flexibility. "Look," she pointed at her screen. "We'll get off at the next stop, cross the street, and catch bus 12 going back downtown. I'll ride with you to make sure you get there okay." I felt a wave of relief wash over me. "Are you sure? Won't that make you late?" "Nah, I'm in no rush," Rachel smiled. "Plus, I love the market. Their fresh pastries are amazing." As we got off the bus, Rachel taught me how to use the Transit Go app on my phone. She explained how to buy digital tickets and check real-time bus arrivals. While waiting for bus 12, we chatted about the differences between Japanese and American transportation systems. "You know what's funny?" I said, finally feeling relaxed enough to laugh at my situation. "In Japan, if a bus is scheduled for 10:05, it arrives at exactly 10:05. Here, it seems like the times are more like suggestions." Rachel burst out laughing. "Welcome to American public transit. We call those scheduled times optimistic estimates. Bus 12 arrived 7 minutes late." I noted mentally, and this time I felt more prepared. I held on properly, bent my knees as suggested earlier, and managed to stay upright despite the bumpy ride. Rachel and I continued chatting, and I found myself enjoying the lively atmosphere of the bus. As we approached Pike Place Market, I could see the famous sign through the window. The bus stopped, and as we got off, the sweet smell of fresh flowers and baked goods filled the air. The morning drizzle had cleared, and the market was coming alive with vendors setting up their stalls. "Thank you so much, Rachel," I said, bowing slightly, this time intentionally as a sign of deep gratitude. "You turned what could have been a terrible morning into a wonderful adventure." Rachel smiled warmly. "Hey, that's what we do here in Seattle. We look out for each other. Plus, now you're practically a pro at riding our buses." As we walked through the market entrance together, I realized something important. Sometimes the best travel experiences come from when things don't go as planned. My wrong turn had led me to make my first American friend and taught me more about Seattle culture than any guidebook could have. Looking back at my first American bus adventure, I learned so much more than just how to navigate public transportation. I discovered that while American systems might not be as precise as Japanese ones, they come with their own special charm. The warmth of helpful strangers, the casual conversations between passengers, and the sense of community that turns a simple bus ride into an unexpected adventure. For those of you who might be visiting the United States for the first time, here are some helpful tips I learned. Download transportation apps like Transit Go before your trip. Use Google Maps to plan your bus routes. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Americans are usually very friendly. Remember to bend your knees when standing on the bus. Keep in mind that bus schedules are more flexible than in some other countries, but beyond these practical tips, I learned something more valuable. Sometimes getting lost can lead you to the best experiences. My wrong turn led me to meet Rachel, who not only helped me reach my destination, but also gave me my first genuine American friendship experience. Today, whenever I ride the bus in Seattle, I think about that first confusing morning. Now, I'm often the one helping other confused tourists, passing forward the kindness that Rachel showed me. And yes, I still bend my knees every time the bus starts moving.